We continue our film review series with a quarterback that's said to be without a doubt the best in this year's draft. This week, we've covered both the talents of quarterbacks Shedeur Sanders and Jackson Dart. We broke down their skills, their attributes, and where we think that they're going to land in the draft. After this, we're going to actually continue our series with another episode that was actually specially requested. Huge shout out to Colin Russell G5D for requesting a new video. I'll have that up and ready for you tomorrow. But without further delay, here is my film review of Miami quarterback Cam Ward. All right, so just like the other two, we're going to start off with the arm talent, and Cam Ward has fantastic speed on the ball. I mean, the kid has a total cannon for an arm. That's been clear throughout his entire college career. It has not had to develop or anything like that. I can only imagine it's going to get better as he gets older and excels into the NFL. I mean, dude, kid's got a gun on him, man. He knows his strengths at all three levels. That's short, medium, and long distance passing. It really seems like he's kind of got that touchdown. So I'm really confident in like his arm talent and his ability to go and air it out there. The only thing about it is that I gotta kind of knock him for on the arm talent is he occasionally does these risky throws that just aren't really worth it. Like just throw the ball away, or if you can, pull it down. But I mean, it's not something that is absolutely terrible. Like it's really not a deal breaker for me. His arm talent is literally that good. His strength with his arm is just insane, and that cannot be overlooked. So for his arm talent, I'm going to give Cam Ward a 9 out of 10. All right, so moving on to his mobility, he has great knowledge of when to stay in the pocket and when to leave. Personally, I think that he is the best scrambling quarterback out of all of the quarterbacks in this draft class. I just kind of wish that he would use his feet a little bit more sometimes. Like, don't get me wrong. Love whenever quarterbacks like want to pass, the ball. That is their goal. You're a quarterback. You're supposed to be throwing the ball. But occasionally, whenever he gets out of the pocket and he scrambles for a little bit, he tries to make risky throws that in reality, he should just pull the thing down and take 7 yards and slide. Like, I get it. He wants the big play and stuff like that. And the 50-50 ball, I mean, it's called a 50-50 ball for a reason. Sometimes it works. Sometimes it doesn't. And I would just much rather if he would just pull the thing down. Like, if it's like 70% sure that he's going to make the throw and he's like right on the line of scrimmage, whatever, throw the ball. But if you can see like a middle linebacker coming across and then the corner's following right behind your guy, you don't really know if you're going to get the ball in there. Dude, just run the ball. You have great mobility. Like, your feet are absolutely awesome. I have to say, though, in the pocket, his feet are a little bit slow. Whenever he's on the move, though, I mean, he's fantastic. Extremely fast guy. And like I said from before, knows the right time to scramble and when not to. But he just needs to kind of commit to the run a little bit more, in my opinion. Like, if he sees it, take it. Don't force that turnover, dude. Pull the ball down, especially in the NFL. Can't really knock him for all that, though, so I'm going to give him for his mobility an 8 out of 10. Now, moving on to his accuracy. Kid's typically dead on, but again, he tends to make these risky decisions that you don't need to make. I mean, a lot of 50-50 balls come from him, and I wish that he would kind of reduce that a little bit more. Most of the time, those 50-50 balls are whenever his mind's running a little bit too much and he's scrambling. So, run the ball, man. Like, just run the ball. But moving on from that, because we already talked about mobility, short and medium throws are always quick into the chest, which you absolutely have to love. I mean, he has good knowledge of when to throw high and when to throw low. Another thing that you got to love, that he can fit the ball in there right in the right spot for the receiver. Like, he goes through the progressions nicely whenever he's in the pocket, but it's whenever he rolls out and starts to scramble, whenever his mind starts to get scrambled a little bit, you know? Like, it seems like he kind of loses his ability to go through his progressions if he's been out there for like way too long, which is like kind of typical and everything like that for a quarterback. But we're going to go back to the 50-50 ball. He usually turns to the 50-50 ball, which I absolutely hate. I mean, other than that, though, accuracy is, again, like dead on these short and medium throws. It's just, you just stop taking the 50-50 balls, man. Like, it's going to be okay. You're going to get your shot downfield eventually. And that's been clear, by the way, like through his film. He has had so many good shots down the field. He can 110% get the ball there. It's just he should be a little bit more patient before wanting to make that big play. Again, nothing dragging him down too much here. For his overall ranking for accuracy, I'm going to give him an 8 out of 10. All right, so moving on to the size and the frame. This is probably the worst part about this player. As I said in my last video, I mean, I like bigger quarterbacks. So 6'2", 223, pretty below average size, but the thing about that is he is strong as an ox, guys. I mean, he uses all 223 pounds to go and push his way into the end zone on tush pushes and stuff like that, or quarterback sneak is what it should be called. But Yeah, he really, really uses every single last bit of his size to go and work effectively to either throw the ball or get into the end zone. Not afraid to take contact, but understands not to get greedy either. Like we were talking about, like he does run. It's not like he's foreign to running. And whenever he does, he knows when to go down or get out of bounds. So I mean, that's great. But again, like not too much to write home about whenever it comes to the size. I mean, it's not an advantage. It's not really a disadvantage either. And you can't really look down on the guy for being 6'2". I mean, like he again is using his size to the best of his ability. So overall for the size, I'm gonna give him a 7 out of 10. I get that that's a little bit low, but again, I like quarterbacks in between 6'4" to 6'6". If he was maybe in between 6'4" to 6'6", he probably would have gotten like an 8.5 or a 9 right here. Now moving on to his decision making. So like we talked about before, he really tends to take that 50-50 ball, man. And in the NFL, like in college, that can work because like not all the players out there are absolute studs. In the NFL, even when you have some guys on the bench, like those guys they made it to the NFL, man. Like they're studs. So you're going to be facing some really good secondaries out there, and they're going to be able to kind of predict your 50-50 ball. So you got to reduce that a little bit more. If you got to get the ball out or whatever, like, and it's just a crazy scenario, mistakes happen and stuff like that. But it's just, this is a little bit too frequent for me. I just wish that he would really, really reduce the 50-50 ball, man. Like those decisions just are kind of what's killing him here. Other than that, though, great timing on passes and looks for the most open receiver. Whenever he's staying in the pocket, that is. Short and medium passing decisions are typically flawless from this guy. Like I really haven't seen too much to complain about right there. Really with the decision making, what's weighing him down is these 50-50 balls. It's like it's just not something that you can do in the NFL. It is way too costly for turnovers and everything like that. You got to capitalize and make the most out of your drive. And if you're just going to throw away the ball like that and most likely get a turnover, that's not a really good thing. But other than that, like I said before, he typically or looks for the most open receiver whenever he's in the pocket. That is, whenever he's scrambling, that can be kind of iffy. So I'm not really going to knock him down too much for this, but overall, I'm going to give him a 7 out of 10 on the decision making. I feel like that's pretty fair, and I feel like he would definitely be an 8 or a 9 if he would just work on the 50-50 ball a little bit more. And I don't mean work on as in work on it in practice and do it more. I mean, do not throw that ball as often, man. Pull the thing down and decide to run. Take those short yards and just go home with that. Right, now onto the football IQ. This is one of my favorite parts about this guy. He is clearly extremely knowledgeable of defensive schemes and blitzes. He reads the coverage very, very well with a lot of confidence in his throw, and that cannon of an arm, again, every single throw that he has that I've seen from him, unless he's under pressure or taking a hit, it's been an absolute dart and an absolute bullet to his receiver. He has so much confidence in that throw, and it's really, really helping him in his game. Now, he occasionally underestimates defender speed and jumping ability. So again, I know, like, we're gonna go back to it again, but to the 50-50 ball, you gotta kind of put a little bit more respect on the names of these DBs that are going to be in the NFL because they're going to either knock the ball free from your guy and he's going to take like a crazy hit and you might be injuring your receiver, or they're just going to read the play and pick it off. If you have an awesome receiver though, like someone like Justin Jefferson or something, totally, like you can throw balls like that because I believe that Justin Jefferson is probably better than most DBs in the NFL at the jump ball. So really it's all going to depend on like who's in his arsenal. But if you're running like kind of like Jordan Love with a bunch of number 2 wide receivers, don't underestimate the defender's speed and jumping ability because they could beat your guy. And that might end up looking really, really bad for you and your team with that turnover. I got to mention, he knows his players' strengths so, so well. He's very, very knowledgeable of his players and when they are going to be put to the best of their abilities. And he loves to put them in those positions. Like one of the wide receivers that I absolutely loved to watch him play with was Xavier Restrepo. I mean, it seemed like their chemistry was almost unbeatable at Miami. And so for his football IQ, I'm going to give him a 9 out of 10. I mean, again, I'm extremely impressed with this kid's knowledge of the game. All right, now we're moving on to my absolute favorite part of this guy, which is his character. This dude he probably has the best character out of all the quarterbacks that we've looked at so far. And I'm just really, really impressed with the guy. He is an awesome dude to root for. He is extremely mature and he has a very strong formed character, and that is described by his coaches, his friends, his family, literally absolutely everybody around him, especially from everything that I've read and all the interviews that I've seen. Um, he's described by his coaches and colleagues as a natural leader, which is very, very clear on and off the field. He displays a great deal of confidence with zero arrogance, might I add. Having confidence in yourself without being arrogant about it is one of the best traits that you can have in a person, especially a quarterback that's going into the NFL. Truly a lover of the game. He has the willingness to learn and improve his game where it's needed, and he has the social intellect and swagger without being flashy. This is what you want from a quarterback, guys. He has everything that you want in the character of a quarterback. It is so perfect. He is an extremely relatable person, and so many people have said that about him, whether it's reporters, and again, coaches, friends, and family are obviously going to say that about him. But whenever just random people are saying that about you that meet you, they're like, whoa, dude, Cam Ward is like an awesome guy, and he just like kind of presents himself very, very nicely. That's exactly what you want to have in your quarterback and everything like that. And again, the confidence. He has so much confidence, but he's not arrogant about it. He doesn't flash in people's faces. He knows what kind of game that he can put on, but instead of telling you about it, he's going to show you on the field. So, character, absolute, without a doubt, 10 out of 10. And that brings us to his overall grade, which racks up to an 8.3 out of 10, the highest player rated so far in our series. This kid is without a doubt a talent, guys. I mean, I think he has tons of upside depending on where he lands. I honestly hope for his sake that he falls in the draft just because of how bad the teams are and the first few picks. But I got to give Cam Ward a prediction of being in the top 10. And again, great for him because like that number looks like you got picked in the top 10. I hope for his career's sake that he falls a little bit further than that. I mean, his strengths are undeniable, and the way he presents himself is absolutely stellar. His weaknesses are there, but subtle enough that I believe that he can work through it at the NFL level, but he has to have the right coaching and everything like that. I'm really hoping he falls further so that he isn't stuck with a terrible coaching staff and team like the first few teams on the board. But if he gets to a decent team, I mean, I can see him becoming the nucleus of that team very, very quickly. All right, with that being said, guys, this is going to take us to an end of Cam Ward's film review. I really hope that you enjoyed. If you did enjoy, be sure to go like the video and subscribe to go and keep up with more content. I am going to have that bonus video out tomorrow for you guys, so be sure that you stay tuned for that. If you like the video, be sure to share it with a friend. See what they think about Cam Ward. Maybe I'm just talking too much about him, or maybe I'm not talking highly enough about him. What did you guys think of my rating? Was 8.3 too high, too low? Let me know down in the comments. But thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.